Hello everybody, as you can see the sky is black, but I am heading out to Camp Freedom 2 to try to continue building Year 2.0 despite the current situation, which is looking really bad. And I'm not talking about just the weather here with the sky and whatnot, but my personal situation with child support and wage garnishment and the license suspension that is pending here. They've started the process to suspend my license. I went back to Department of Revenue to talk to them about it, and they said, well, pretty much because I cannot pay the amount that was court ordered, they have to begin the process. Now, what they did for me was they sent me a form to go back to the career source to get myself back into the system. And then they said they'll send me another letter once I return that form back to them, giving me 20 days to file a motion for the judge to contest the suspension. But this is a process that we've gone through already numerous times, and they said what will happen is it's just going to reset the situation and put us back to the situation we're still in. The reason being that unless I can pay the child support, which is ordered even though I can't get a job, the system will keep kicking it in to suspend my license. So, oh man, it is like pouring rain over here. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to do anything at the yurt. If it's pouring rain, I won't be able to do anything. But anyhow, they are planning on suspending my license within 2 weeks if I don't get the situation resolved. So some of you have suggested that I try to get my license by going to another state. And I did find some states that don't share the database or whatever with other states. But the problem with it is just getting out there is an issue. But more importantly than that, if I go out there, I'd have to establish residence. And I probably won't have enough money to come back. And then I would be over there, just kind of stuck over there. And in reality, it would be running. You know, basically, I'd start to become like a criminal almost because I'd be running from the law, from child support. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, you know, what should I do? On the one hand, I'll never get caught up here unless I get a decent job. Even a minimum wage job won't really cover everything. And I'm having a hard time even getting a minimum wage job, any type of job. So I'm kind of in a rock and a hard place. But I thought about it and I was like, you know, what should I do? If I run away and get a license somewhere else, I'll be safe to drive, but I'll need to register my car, I need to establish residence. And then because it's not just a license suspension issue, it's a child support issue, which means they'll actually communicate with various states. They'll always be looking out for me. So in essence, I become a criminal or a deadbeat dad. So I don't really want to do that. The other option is to stay here and continue trying to do what they're asking me to do, and to continue to try to comply as best as I can. Now, legally in Florida, they can't arrest you for not being able to pay child support if you can't pay child support. But what they do is they put all these rules into place so that if you can't pay child support, they can do things like take away your driver's license. So then if you're caught driving without a license, then they can arrest you. And they also have these other court rules that mandate that you sign up for all these different programs and whatnot that they make you go through. And as soon as you miss one, then they can say that you are in contempt of court and they'll arrest you. And, you know, you might be wondering, those of you who aren't in Florida and don't understand what's happening, the state has an incentive to lock people up. The reason being that every person they lock up, from what I understand, is worth like $200 a day in taxpayer dollars revenue. If they don't lock up enough people and there are empty cells, they have to pay the various agencies that run the jails all this money for empty cells, and that's why you're seeing all these cells being filled up. At least that's what I was told by the inmates. And I've got a little squirrel here I don't want to run over. I don't know if you can see him crossing the road there. But as far as I understand, that's why, and there's such an incentive to get people locked up. But whether or not that's true, I'm going to go ahead and try to comply to the best of my ability, which means going to the career center, re-registering for everything, continuing the job search, and filing with the court. It's all obviously going to cost money to go to the court to file the paperwork and whatnot, but I don't really have a choice, and I'm going to have to scrounge money or save some for that. And some of you might be wondering, well, if that's happening, why am I bothering to continue to build the yurt and work out here in this area? And the answer is twofold, really. One, I'm out here working, believe it or not. You know, I'm making videos and trying to build up this channel to get a decent following so that it can become a career for me, because it's looking like traditional career as far as working for somebody else isn't happening unless I somehow luck out and get hired somewhere. You know, I've been applying and whatnot, and I can't seem to get hired. So this may be my best avenue for getting myself out of this situation. A lot of people have been kind and generous in helping me out, but you know, that obviously is a lifeline and kind of like a bandage to help in an emergency situation. It's not something you can rely on, or something I would want to rely on. And while I'm grateful for that, what I really need is a job. I need a job that will cover the child support and my living expenses. The only thing I can see right now, you know, without anyone hiring me, is this, doing YouTube or my software. But software is actually dropping out because of what's happening right now. And that is my wife, her daughter, and I may become homeless here very soon. The landlord for the apartment raised the rent up by $200 a month, and we can't afford it. We could barely afford it as it was, because without me really working, you know, other than earning what I was earning from YouTube and using a lot of that to pay child support, there's no money. So we've got several plans, and none of them are pleasant. My wife is like a CNA, kind of, but she doesn't even, it's complicated. I don't want to get too personal, and she doesn't want to be mentioned too much on the video, but basically what we're looking at is we may be losing our apartment, and all three of us will become homeless. Now, she might be able to take a job living with somebody as a healthcare provider, but it won't pay a lot. So her and her daughter may be able to do that for 24-hour care for someone, but that obviously leaves me out here by myself, and that means moving back into the van. So I'm actually preparing right now, preparing the van for me to move back into it full time, as well as this area out here as a home base again, so that I have a place where I can park and relax a little bit and work on my vehicle and set things up and whatnot. The issue is, if they take away my driver's license, I won't even be able to come out here, and they essentially are taking away my home, and I will fully be on the street. But more than likely, if they do that, they're going to end up putting me in jail, which actually is starting to look like a better option. Now, they had locked me up previously when all this went down 7 years ago with the divorce and my claims by my wife and whatnot, even, you know, and it's a big ugly mess. You can see it on the Presumed Guilty channel, that whole backstory there on what happened and how I ended up to where I am now. But essentially that process put us to where we are right now. And jail actually has free meals every day, and the county jail here even has air conditioning. And you got showers 3 times as much as you want all day long. You have TV, and you have books to read, as well as you know, a lot of free time. So if they do that to me, I really don't have anything to lose. It's actually maybe a better situation when, you know, it's pretty sad when going to jail looks like a better option than what you have. Now, I'm not in a rush to get to jail because I would lose my freedom, but truly, if they were to put me in jail, you know, if they put me in jail, I'm not gonna worry too much about it. And the reason for that is I'm doing the best that I can, and if it's not good enough, they want to lock me up because they want their $200 a day, whatever, that they get from the taxpayers, then that's what happens. As for me, I would just go in there and take the time to read the Bible and just be close to God again. Now, I don't think they keep me in there forever. I don't know. I thought I looked at the legislation, the rules and the laws. I think they can put you in for like 6 months or a year or something like that. But, you know, as long as I continue the child support and I can't make the payments, I don't know, you know, what the situation is. I'm not going to worry about that until it comes up. In the meantime, I am planning on staying and continuing to try to work to the best of my ability. I'm continuing to produce these YouTube videos and trying to prepare a potential spot for me to stay at in the event that I lose. Well, I'm about 95% certain that I will become homeless again very soon and back in my van. And this time there's a lot more obstacles. So I've got to produce as much content as I can while I still have access to the vehicle. If they take away my driver's license and the vehicle, I'll be on the street. And I don't even know what's going to happen at that point. So that's what's going on. That's why you see me out here building. You might be thinking it's foolish to continue to purchase materials to build a yurt out here, but that may be my home. Otherwise, it's just being out of, you know, sleeping under a bridge or something. So this could be home. I don't know. Anyhow, that's enough sad stuff here. I am trying to stay encouraged and continue to work on this project and just keep myself busy, and hope that the channel actually catches people's eyes and they, you know, tune in and stuff, so I can get my viewership up, because then it becomes a more viable source for an actual income, and then the courts will realize that I am working. Even like right now, some of the viewers are saying that I'm playing instead of working and whatnot. I don't know what more I can do. I put in applications. I've been looking everywhere. You know, I've considered giving blood, and I'm putting all my earnings from here, or most of my earnings, towards child support, but now I'm having to pull some to live off and to try to make more money. So if you have a suggestion other than, you know, get a job, which I've been trying, I'm all ears. If you have a job that I can do, then, you know, that is something worth considering. And depending on what it is and where it is and what's all involved, whether or not I can actually do it, you know, it's something I will consider. But in the meantime, coming out here and trying to make the videos is my job. And as long as I continue to be able to drive, I'll continue to do this and continue to promote my photography. My software development is on hold again, pretty much, because without internet and without a house, you know, I won't really be able to do much development. I might be able to do even uploading. You may notice uploading may become very sporadic over the next month or two, depending on what happens with the courts, my license suspension, and whether or not I'm out on the street again. So if I suddenly disappear and the updates on this channel stop, you'll know what's up. I've either been arrested and put back into jail, or I'm out on the streets and unable to access the internet.